What in the butt? We just saw a movie. Sorry, that was dumb. We just saw a movie. We're doing one of our car reviews.
Again.
And what did we see?
We saw The Raven.
The Raven.
With one of my favorites, John Cusack. I love John Cusack.
Keep it to a dull roar in the back.
I love John Cusack. I think he's really, really funny.
I didn't know he was one of your faves.
Oh, I just love him. Say anything. It hooked me for life.
But, so we just saw The Raven. Obviously takes place when he was alive.
1800s, mid to late 1800s.
I knew nothing about him, so I looked it up. Looks like he was born in 1809. He died when he was 40. But this movie...
It's probably 50s, 1850s. Sorry.
He would have been dead already.
Well, I was doing the math. No, whatever. So you know from the previews kind of what's going on. There's a murderer who's doing murders according to his
He's taking, sorry, again, as usual, because I do this for you, there's people walking by.
I don't know why she acknowledges the people who stare.
They distract me and I feel awkward.
Don't even look at them.
Based on his writing, someone is doing murders based on his writing, as I just said.
The Pit and the Pendulum, anyone who's read any Edgar Allan Poe, Pit and the Pendulum, and I told someone in the theater at one point I knew what story it was from, and that was pretty fun. Yeah. I was figuring them out, beforehand. Some of them were kind of stretches, by the way. Some of them, I know the poems, and they don't really, they're like, oh, must be this because of, the tongue. Oh, I talk about a tongue in this poem. Like, okay, well, that's kind of a stretch. It's very much,
it's not like he kills one person, you go to that person. There's other things, he does kill a few people and leave clues kind of on their body that lead them to another clue, which may or may not be a dead person or just a random clue.
Right. That ties into his stories.
In
kind of a roundabout.
Yes. So he has to kind of dissect his stories to think, this is what they meant by this. It is a little... I don't want to give anything away. I had to, because we were seeing this after we saw the movie, I just looked it up. Obviously,
I say we do a spoiler here.
Obviously, this was not, it was not based on his life. He married his 13-year-old cousin when he was 26. He died when he was 40. And
yeah, but I think she died. He had like 2 or 3 wives that did die.
He spoke about his first wife who passed away, but...
the real Edgar Allan Poe had lost 2 or 3 wives, actually.
Well, in the article I read about him, it said he died of alcohol, something wrong with his brain, something wrong with his heart, rabies, suicide. Like, they said it could have been a variety of things.
Could have been anything.
Which I thought was interesting that rabies was in there.
I think it really was simply alcohol. Alcohol-related death.
Sounds like he was a bit of an elky.
He was a total drunk. So...
Would you like to do a spoiler? It's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you do not want to know how this one ends, you can turn it off. Basically, I'm going to say, without any spoilers, go see it. Give it a try. It's a little long.
It's a thriller.
But I liked it.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
Before any spoilers,
I would not call it a horror movie at all.
Thriller.
Even a psychological thriller, I guess, if you want to say. I would say go see it. It's not too bad.
Spoiler, if you don't want to know the ending, click the off.
This side.
Is it over here?
Over here.
Click the button, turn it off.
Whatever.
Okay.
Alright, so the deaths in this movie are horrible. They're good, but they're horrible.
Horrible in a good way or horrible in a bad way?
Horrible in a bad way. They're good deaths. They could be awesomely... But everything was CGI. Everything was computer animated.
Yeah.
The blood was computer animated.
Yes.
That is, to me, cop-out. Total cop-out.
There were points, like, during some of those death scenes where I literally thought it could have been sort of 3D. Like, some of the blood splatter. I almost thought... Did you get that
The 3D was because of the CGI. That's why it looked 3D, because it's so fake-looking.
Okay. So
there were a couple neck cuts that I liked, but, that special effects can be done in 20 minutes. It was upsetting to me that they didn't focus more on the deaths.
Yeah,
as always.
The focus basically was they do a quick, okay, here's dead body, where are the clues, bye-bye. So do you want to tell how it ends, or?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it essentially, and we figured it out.
Yeah.
pretty much at the same
The funny
time.
thing is, I said it's Daisy, and then I heard her say it.
And I leaned over like, yeah, it's this guy. And
Yeah.
you could tell because, like, he's printing and whatever, and he's got to do a poem for... The guy's like... The killer's, like, obsessed with him, and he's got to do a poem in the paper and this and that. And then at the end, he's, you know, submitting it to the editor guy. And then the print layout guy is like, oh, Mr. Poe, you know, don't sacrifice yourself for this girl, you know, whatever. That might be a bad idea. And I was like, something's off with this guy.
He's a little obsessive.
He seems a little obsessive about him. Like, oh, no. Like, really involved. Like, goodbye, Mr. Poe.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah. So it turns out to be this guy, obviously, clearly, because...
Ivan!
And then him and Ivan sit down, have a little chat.
They have a drink. They have a, you know, cheers.
And Ivan gives him some poison.
Sorry for the interruption.
Sorry for the delay.
We ran out of tape. So continue.
Where was I?
We were talking about, basically,
Ivan,
we were
yes.
talking about
So
Ivan,
it ends up being the printer.
a life for a life.
Life for life, he gives his life for Emily, and he'll let Emily go, which he doesn't do.
No, he just puts on his top hat and heads out.
He's like, bye,
So,
you just drank the poison, you'll be dead in 5 minutes, and I'm going to catch the...
I gotta go
go to Paris. I gotta go.
Let's do this.
I gotta go.
Edgar still has to go wander around and find her.
Well, then he realizes that it's the oh my god, I just blanked completely on the poem. The heart in the floor and
I don't know.
with the clock and the oh my god.
With the longitude and latitude.
No, not that. Fuck. Okay, now I'm.
I don't really know. He figures out where she is.
Oh my
gets
god,
down there, uses all his strength to
literally
get her
like
out
gets under there, gets down into like the dungeon,
carries
gets
her
under
out.
all with poison.
And it sort of ends with
him telling the guy, like, tell him it was Fields, and so then he's like dead in the thing, and the cop's like, oh, do you have a cause of death? And he's like, no, you know, we don't really know, we're not sure what it was. And I think that is what was kind of the thing that you're supposed to say, well, maybe this was real. Maybe this was how it happened, and maybe this is how it died. Because they didn't really have a cause of death. So maybe it was poison.
Yeah, I mean, it very well could have been. In the article I read, they listed about 10 things it could have been. It wasn't like he died of this, end of story.
So maybe it was. But either way, he dies, she lives. No help from that guy.
Which would suck.
That Ivan Paris guy. So he goes to Paris. Cop goes to Paris. Shoots
Finds him. Dead.
Movie over.
I'm gonna just say for myself, I thought it was a little bit long because again I have a short attention span, but I liked it. I like John Cusack. I think he's a handsome guy.
Totes, and they made him look so
he looked
young.
Very handsome.
It
yes.
was like smooth.
How did they do that?
No
he's
wrinkles,
40 or 50.
no eye bags, and he's got eye bags.
Yeah.
And it was like, it looked like he had Botox, but he didn't. And it was HD, too.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell?
I thought John Cusack played the role.
Hell of a makeup job.
I thought he played the role really well.
He did.
I thought he did a great acting job. I thought he looked very handsome. I liked his girl was pretty as well. Kind of weird looking at times, but
cute little lines.
That doesn't really matter. I loved it. You know, the costuming was great.
Totally.
The scenery, and all in all, I thought it was a good movie. I would give it like a B. I probably won't buy it. But for what it was, I would give it a B, and I would say go see it, because you might like it.
I think that, yes, it's a decent movie. It's a thriller. It's entertaining. You really want to know who it is. It's not a horror movie. It's not a death killer. It's not gory. It's not any of that. So, was it rated R?
Yes, it was.
Why was it rated R?
He says the F word once.
It must have been all the CGI blood. So I just no, I would. It's a good movie for what it is. It's not a horror movie. Don't be misled. If you're going for a gore fest, you're not going to get it.
John Cusack carries it.
Yeah,
I mean,
cute John Cusack. Decent movie.
Decent movie.
Yeah, go see it.
Maybe not a buyer.
Not a horror movie, but decent movie.
Give it a try.
Give it a try.
Gee.